Good afternoon, supervisors. I am here to get you some understanding on the notions of best fit and mark bands. In line with IB approach of positive marking, an examiner will read the level descriptor from the highest mark band until they reach to a descriptor that most appropriately describes the level of work being assessed. Now let's understand first what is mark band. Mark band is for assessing the student's work like level 1 to 2 mark band, 3 to 4 mark band, 5 to 6 mark band. And we all know that we have 5 criteria and each criteria has different strands and different descriptor to it. So we have a mark band here and these are my strands, the extended essay strands, and here is the identification or indicators of the explanation of these strands. Now, let's understand how the examiner will grade the students based on criteria A, that is focus and method, where 3 strands are there. Number 1, the topic is communicated well, accurately, and effectively. Is the research question is clearly stated and focused? Methodology of research is complete. Is the 3 strand which the student will be assessed on criteria A. Let's understand if the student did well or excellent in methodology of the research, where he used appropriate range of relevant sources or methods and he select as per the selected topic or the research question. However, his research question is not clearly stated but only partially focused. Here, the methodology is good, but the research question is partially focused. The examiner has to use its judgment to decide whether there is enough to give lower upper band, or that is 5, or higher lower band, that is 4. So here the examiner will use his or her judgment to place the student, to balance the student's work. Now let's understand the knowledge and understanding, where criteria B, where these major strands are that the use of knowledge and understanding is excellent, or use of terminology is well, use of terminology and concept is good. So there are 2 strands on which the knowledge and understanding, if you look here, this criteria assess the extent to which the research relates to subject's area or discipline used to explore the research question. So this child who's writing a research question should have a good knowledge and understanding about the topic he's researching and has using good usage of terminology and concept in the essay, or he has demonstrated appropriated terminology and concept. Same way, if the knowledge and understanding is excellent in criteria B, however, the use of terminology and concept is adequate for the essay, the examiner can award higher 4 or low 5 by assessing the student. In critical thinking, criteria C, is divided into four different mark bands. And the requirement for criteria C to achieve higher band that the research is excellent, analysis is excellent, discussion and evaluation is excellent. So, here there is a possibility for an essay to score higher in some regards and lower in some regards. It is examiner job to decide on the balance of the essay. Now understand the criteria is same for all subjects. So the criterias are same for all the subject, but for each subject, the interpretation of the criteria may be different. Let's explore individual and societies BM, business management subject specific guidance, and see under that there is interpretation, the EE success criteria, assessment criteria. So if I look at the criteria A, that is focus and method, where the EE title promotes the application of higher order skills of analysis, evaluation, and synthesis rather than encouraging a descriptive essay. Use of secondary resources, the methodology is in the first instance, students should employ high level academic research and writing skill, and it should have uh, a wide range of um, secondary resources. Also, an essay which is based heavily on questionnaires and interviews will or might lose mark on the range of criteria. So only primary research is conducted. It must provide information that is not accessible from secondary resources or sources, and that significantly enhance the value of primary data presented. Similarly, in knowledge and understanding, how the student use terminology, how the student use the sources to place their topic with a wider business context is the focus of the essay. So here we are assessing as an examiner knowledge and understanding, and these are the strands which are required in this particular criteria. Similarly, criteria C, research and analysis, discussion and evaluation. So the student should comment on the quality, balance, and quantity of resources and reflect on any biases or the limitation that may weaken the strength and affect the objectivity of supporting material. In presentation, we will be looking into structure and layout of the essay, how student um, um, how student use the bibliography, which is an essential structural element contributing as far as it is visibly presented to criteria D, while making students understand that there is no explicit penalty in criteria D for exceeding 4,000 words. Students should be aware that examiner will not read beyond the 4,000 word. So it will affect the application of multiple criteria. So these minor details need to be addressed to the students and look uh, carefully when you are grading the student work. Similarly, engagement, which we have discussed in our last session, where strands such as process and research focus uh, uh, was the major requirement for criteria E, engagement. So students are expected to provide reflection on the decision making and planning process undertaken completing the essay. So this engagement section was addressed in the last session in terms of writing evaluative reflection in the RPPF.